Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on this other edition of the Sports Block. I am Tyler Scholler, joined by former Mustang Kevin Brunson, who has recently graduated last year. We are here to bring you tonight's third round edition of the NCHSAA State Playoffs. Tonight we have the visiting Trojans from Garner High School and your Middle Creek Mustangs. Kevin, tell us a little bit about Garner's game last week against number 3 Jack Britt.
Yeah, you know, the Trojans really came out strong, as well as Jack Britt. The score there was 63-56, and that is Garner's second straight game scoring 63 points. You know, really the player to watch tonight for Garner has got to be their running back, number 2, Naheem Hines. You know, as I read earlier, he's ranked second in the nation by MaxPreps.com. This season, he has 3,076 rushing yards and 50 touchdowns. And then last game, like you said, against Fayetteville, he ran for 454 and 7 touchdowns. You know, so definitely a big back in the backfield. Mustangs defense really needs to step up. Their run defense has to be on top notch tonight. Yeah, and as you can hear now, you hear the siren going, which has become a tradition here now at the creek. Before the Mustangs run out of the tunnel, they sound that siren to alert every Mustangs herd is coming through the tunnel. So that's just something that's new since you've been here, and it's something that really does help get everyone fired up. And there's the smoke as the Mustangs come out of the tunnel for tonight's game against Garner. And against Garner, we played Garner earlier in the season. I believe it was the first game of the season, and the Mustangs fell short 21-16. They were without starting wide receiver Curtis Burston, but Curtis, in his return, has done an awful lot for the Mustangs, and he's really played a tremendous part. He's done a lot for the receiving corps. I believe he has a touchdown in every game back. So it's a really different matchup this game. Yeah, you know, I'm sure this whole week during Garner's practices, they've been working to defend Bernston. You know, definitely one of our best wide receivers. I was here for the first game when he was on the sidelines in the boot, and it kind of hurt me seeing him on the sidelines because I know how much of an impact he was last year. So, you know, this year definitely making his name known again. Yeah, and speaking about making your name known, as you said, going back through the Garner's highlights from last game, Naheem Hines had a total of 454 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. So he has picked up offers from multiple ACC schools and the Big Ten powerhouse, Ohio State, and he's really one of the top running backs in the nation. So the Mustangs will file out behind that banner. As I don't know if you can see that, but Fuquay has a check, Southview has a check, and Garner is blank. But hopefully after tonight we can put another check. We can put another check in that box and hopefully advance to the 4th round of the state playoffs. So tonight's captains, we have number 1 Keon Smith, number 19 Curtis Burston, who is our star wide receiver, number 50 Josh Hunter, and number 10 Terrence White, who had a big interception against Southview last week. And that really sparked another touchdown for the Mustangs, which helped them out to their 28-20 route. And speaking of last week's game, we are getting ready to show you some highlights from that game, which was a very good, actually we will come back to that. So the Mustangs are filing out behind, and the Creek Crazies, really everybody, there's not a seat vacant in this stadium. There's a standing room only for a lot of people. The Mustangs and Garner, I believe, also pre-sold tickets to get into the game because they were scared they were going to sell out, and it looks like they have sold out of tickets. Yeah, as I can see, on the Garner side, most of their fans are wrapped around almost to the back of the end zones, wrapped around the fence. You know, very similar to when we play Fuquay. Very standing room only, like you said. So, but it's, you know, it's good to see a big crowd, especially in the playoffs. You always want, you know, your fans on your side. Yeah, absolutely. And earlier today,
there was a tailgate out in the parking lot, and there were hundreds of Creek Crazies out there, and the Blue Crew from Garner had a bunch of fans out there, and Garner really does travel very well to their away games, and that really has played a big part in their success this year, because it kind of takes away some of the home field advantage that a lot of teams have, where you have those teams that don't really travel as much, and that really sets it apart and really gives them an advantage, or tries to level the playing field throughout the game.
And the Trojans and the Mustangs are crosstown rivals. They are in different conferences, and you mostly see Middle Creek and Fuquay, but Garner and Middle Creek crosstown rivals. So, not very far for the Blue Crew to travel this time.
Absolutely not. And the Mustangs have met with the Trojans 11 times, and this is their 12th time. And the Trojans have a record of 10-1 against the Mustangs, which really goes to show their dominance over the years. They've always been a powerhouse in their conference, and also against the Mustangs. And we really hope to see that change tonight, because earlier, like you said, earlier in the season we had that loss, but it was a close loss, and we still had a few of our players out. And so with those players out now, or with them back, it really levels the playing field. It should be a terrific game here tonight at Mustang Stadium. So the Trojans have won the toss and are going to receive the opening kickoff, and the Mustangs will receive the ball at the second half. And that's really been something that's really been kind of typical of the Mustangs, is to defer to the second half and get the second half kickoff.
And lucky for the Mustangs, Garner actually had the choice to receive or defer. Luckily Mustangs get the ball in the second half. So we'll see if that's going to play to their advantage tonight.
So as time comes down to about 2 minutes and 10 seconds before kickoff, we're really the atmosphere is really just amazing. It's a little bit cold out here tonight, but it still has not demolished any of the fans and really helped. They've really come out. It seems like a spring night almost to them, because they're not feeling anything. So, and most of the stadium for the stands out there for the opposing team is packed by the Garner Blue Crew. They have that one section over to the left that is just for their band, but they've traveled really, really well, as we said earlier.
And being a former Mustang, it is good to see a lot of former Mustangs out there on the Creek Crazy side. And it is Thanksgiving break, so they took the opportunity to come out and watch their boys play tonight.
Yeah, and that really shows. On the Sports Block, we talk about community and how everyone is involved in the Mustangs, and it really goes to show how impacted our community is with all these people here, and especially the alumni who feel the need to come back and support their Mustangs, who they have friends here and relatives and people that they care about here at Middle Creek, and they really want to support them and show their appreciation, and that's really good. And I thank you for being here too, because without you I would be the only one on here, and makes things a lot easier having someone else out here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being back on the Sports Block. I always enjoyed it.
So we have Michael Rubino set to kick off for the Mustangs, to Naheem Hines deep for Garner.
Right out of the gate, we're going to see Hines there returning the kick.
Yep, and that will really set the tempo for the Trojans offense. So it looks like Rubino's all set to go, and we are underway.
Mustangs are going to start with a squib kick. Let's see who recovers it. Mustangs say they have the ball.
But it looks like Garner actually recovered. We got the football!
Mustangs recover the ball.
Wow.
Very risky move by the Mustangs special teams coming out of the gate with a squib kick. Caught Garner off guard, and Mustangs are going to have great field position for their first series.
Absolutely, and that's something that Coach Castellano has really implemented this year, is that onside kick, and however that one was not his typical onside kick. It's still one of those that really got the job done, and it really changes the tempo of the game. So you have Brant Gristle in at quarterback, and the shotgun sends Jay Schuler in motion. There's a snap. Pass to Jay Schuler complete at about the 15-yard line. He'll get tackled around the 13, and that'll be a first down for the Mustangs.
It's a good decision by Gressel to audible on that play. Had Jay Schuler wide open right in the middle.
Jet sweep to Keon Smith. He gets around the left end, and falls short just at about the 3-yard line. If he could have kept his feet, he would have been into the end zone for the first touchdown for the Mustangs.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't tell if he just tripped up on his own feet or if he was knocked down by a defender or not.
He was too excited to get in, but regardless, first and goal from the 4-yard line. Excuse me, 2nd and 1. Handoff to Stewart, firing up the middle. Touchdown, Mustangs! So that 4-yard run from Stewart Fine will put the Mustangs up 6-0. Early, extremely early, 28 seconds into this game. And that really sets the tempo for the Mustangs and really puts Garner down in a hole and earlier in this game. So we have Chris Huey on to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So that will put the Mustangs up 7-0 here early, very early in this first quarter. Which that was just a great call by Castellano there on that onside kick. It really, the Mustangs have done that a lot this year, but you would think Garner would be aware of it, but it obviously worked. Whether they were aware of it or not, they probably didn't think Castellano would try it this early in the game, first kickoff. But it worked, and that put the Mustangs up 7-0.
You know, a very effective first series as well. You know, only 3 plays the Mustangs ran. You know, they obviously want to keep as minimum plays as they can.
All right, so we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers on the sideline for a sideline report. Madison. So we have some technical difficulties up here. We will get those resolved, and we will go back down to Madison. Michael Rubino set, and there's the boot. Fields it around the 10-yard line. And he'll be tackled around the 50-yard line as the Trojans will take over for their first drive of the game. So that's a big change of events there, going from the onside kick and the Mustangs recovering to Garner going to their 50-yard line for their first drive of the game. So Trojans have Brighton Hudson in at quarterback. Toss to Naeem Hines, who gains about 5 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and 5 for the Trojans.
King Kiaku on the tackle.
That was King Kiaku there on the tackle for the Mustangs. That'll bring up 2nd and 5. A little toss sweep. He looks like he might be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard, 3rd and inches.
3rd down.
So pass will be completed to number 5, Braden Sims on the left sideline, as that'll be a first down for the Trojans. It looks like the Trojans are really going to implement that fast-paced offense, no huddle early in this game, and that could play to their advantage. So we'll be sure to keep a lookout for that one. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans at their 34-yard line. Handoff to Hines up the middle for a carry of about 4 yards. So that'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Thomas Harshall on the tackle. 2nd and 6.
And Garner is doing a very effective job on their run game, averaging about 5 yards per run.
And he'll be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, looks like by Terry Patterson. And that's a huge play for the Mustangs defense right there, because Naheem has really been a major part of their offense, and he's, as we saw last game, he was unstoppable, and that's really key to this Mustangs defense to really stop him earlier in the game. So that'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Trojans on the Mustangs 30-yard line. Hudson back to pass, and it's dropped around the 20-yard line, so that'll bring up 4th and 6 for the Trojans, and we'll see what they decide to do here.
Is incomplete. 4th down.
And it really looks like, with it being cold, that can really mess with a receiver, because that ball seems harder than normal, and it can hurt your hands a little bit. But we'll see what they do here on this 4th and 6 at the Mustangs 30-yard line. A fake handoff, and it's incomplete. So the Mustangs will take over at their 30-yard line.
Mustangs take over on down.
After that incomplete pass intended for number 5, Braden Sims.
And right here is definitely where the Mustangs need to capitalize on the turnover on downs. You know, it really could make or break this game.
Absolutely. Handoff to Stuart Fine. Up the middle for about a yard, maybe 2. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9. And we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers for a sideline report. Madison?
Tonight is the 3rd round of playoffs as Middle Creek Mustangs go against the Garner Trojans. The energy is high in the Mustang Stadium. Both sides are packed full. It is so crowded in here. The energy is high, and everybody can't wait to see who wins. This is Madison Jaggers. Back to you.
All right. So looks like pass was intercepted from Grizel, and there's some flags being thrown on the field.
Jermaine Royster on the interception.
Interception. Jermaine Royster, number 19 for the Trojans.
And it looks like he had Keon Smith wide open on the right sideline, but just underthrew him a little bit.
Yeah, the way the ball was flying through the air, maybe it slipped out of his hand or something, like you were talking about the cold. You know, not only does it affect the wide receivers, it affects the quarterback as well. Can't get a real good grip on the ball.
Yeah, and that really kind of hurts the Mustangs, because they're really a passing offense, and that's a key part. And so we'll see how that plays into effect in this game, which so far it looks like it has played a big part with that interception that gives the Trojans pretty good field position. It looks like they'll start out at their 40-yard line after the personal foul on Garner. So it looks like the turnover on downs really didn't affect the Trojans that much, because the next play after they intercepted it. So, but regardless, they'll take over at their 40-yard line, and we'll look to put a drive together. So handoff to Hines, up the middle. Looks like a gain of about 9. And Kevin, do you have some score updates for us?
Yeah, we've got Millbrook versus Wake Forest. The Wake Forest is winning 7-0 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
So I believe Wake Forest is the 12th ranked team, and the winner of that game will play the winner of this Middle Creek and Garner game. So we'll keep you updated on those scores as they come in. Handoff up the middle to the fullback. He'll gain about 12, 13 yards, and that'll be a first down for the Trojans.
Tackled by Jacob Burrow. First down for Garner.
Yeah, in that Wake Forest game, Wake Forest is ranked 12th, and Millbrook is ranked 8th. So that'll definitely be a game we'll keep you updated with.
So Trojans 1st and 10. Hand off to Hines. A gain of about 4 yards. And they're really using those short yard carries there, because those short yard carries can really, they take time off the clock, and they really can wear down a defense if you keep up the pace. The pace is a big thing for an offense, because that really wears down the defense, doesn't allow them to get in the players and the substitutes that they need to keep the defense fresh. So 2nd down. Handoff up the middle to the fullback. Gain of about 3 yards. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 3.
And, you know, as much as Garner is running the ball, you're probably going to see a big pass play come up real soon, because that run game definitely opens up a big passing game for the Trojans. Yeah, balance is huge. We've talked earlier about being balanced, and that's a big part of the Mustangs' success, is their balance of running the ball and being able to pass it also. So handoff to number 3. Looks like there's a flag thrown in the backfield.
Britton on the carry. Flag on the play.
That'll be holding on the offense, and that'll back up the Trojans 10 yards.
Get the ball on the tackle.
Looks like it'll make it 3rd and about 15.
10 yards from the spot of foul. Replay 3rd down.
So after the holding penalty, that'll bring up a 3rd and 15 for the Trojans at their 46-yard line, excuse me.
And right now is probably when we're going to see a big pass by Hudson. He's in the shotgun with Hines to his left.
Drops back, pass, and he will be dropped at about the 40-yard line, so that'll bring up a 4th and 10 on that 5-yard completion from Hudson to Hines.
Thomas Harshorn on the tackle. I think a 4th down for Garner.
Garner's going to bring on the punting unit.
McLean's kick.
Jay Schuler will fair catch that ball at around the 14-yard line, and so the Mustangs will take over at their 14-yard line with 5 minutes and 58 seconds left in this first quarter. So the Mustangs defense did a really good job there of holding the Trojans despite that interception, and that's something that's going to be key, is minimizing those turnovers, and really, when you do have those turnovers, minimizing the effects of them for the other team. So Griswold in the shotgun. Screen to Burston. It's complete.
He's got blockers.
He gets around the blocker, but falls down.
Cut by Curtis Burston.
But looks like he'll have enough for a Mustangs 1st down.
Did well, pushes him out of bounds.
But if he hadn't have slipped there, he could have got a couple more yards, because there was an open field right in front of him. He had good blocking to the inside of him. Handoff to Fine up the middle. And he'll get nowhere, because that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. And Mustangs last week went down with an injury. It was Josh
Drake.
Josh Drake went down with an injury. We have gotten word he's doing well, but Stuart Fine really came in and did a good job of filling his role. So pass complete to Rasheem Eaton, as that'll move the chains again for the Mustangs, and that'll bring up another 1st down.
Rasheem Eaton on the catch. That results in a no break.
Bristol in the shotgun. Handoff to Keon Smith, who gets around the left side. Gain about 4 yards, but there's some flag right around the Mustang sideline. Looks like it might be holding. And it will be, so that'll move the Mustangs back another 10 yards. And they will replay 1st down.
I think the holding call was on number 19, Birdston. Just got a little too aggressive there. Tried to get his teammate in for the score, because Keon only had 1 tackle to beat there.
And that can be really hard to do as a receiver. You see that guy slipping past and you just want to reach out and grab a little bit of a jersey. But that one was caught, and so the Mustangs will have a 1st and 15. Hand off to Smith up the middle.
Keon Smith on the carry.
Looks like a gain of about 4 yards, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. It seems like Keon Smith and Stuart Fine are going to be splitting time because Stuart Fine's really the only running back we have right now. So Keon will be taking some snaps there also. So pass to Curtis Burston, complete.
Curtis Burston on the catch.
He'll get about 4 yards, 4 yards on the carry, or on the catch. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Mustangs. Crystal back. Pass to Jay Schuler's complete, and he gets another few yards.
Jay Schuler
gets up to the Mustangs' 48-yard line, and that'll be another 1st down for the Mustangs. The Mustangs are doing a really good job of converting on those 3rd and longs, and really doing a good job of really completing passes. And this cold really doesn't seem to be affecting them, other than that one interception that they had so far. So 1st and 10. Bristol's in the shotgun. Hand off to Smith up the middle. Keeps his legs going and looks like he'll get a gain of about 7.
Mosley on the tackle. 2nd down.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Mustangs. Excuse me, 2nd and 3. Hand off to Fine up the middle.
Stuart Fine on the catch.
Looks like he's going to be just short, less than a yard, as that'll bring up 3rd and inches.
3rd down.
Middle Creek has already converted on 2 3rd downs this series.
So what do you think they'll go with? Will they go with the run again, or or a little screen pass?
You know, it's hard to tell, but 3rd and 1, I really see a run coming. It's going to be a quarterback run. Gristle breaks out for a good 3-yard gain. Going to be good enough for a 1st down.
Absolutely, and Brant Gristle has really played a big part in this run game, really changing it up, because you usually see the running back carrying the ball, but then you get those few carries where you see Brant taking it in for the quarterback sneak. He'll drop back, throws it over the middle, and looked like there's a little bit of contact there, but no flag thrown. So that pass will be incomplete, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that ball was a little over Brunston's head. You know, probably uncatchable, as a referee saw. So no flag there on the play.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. Hand off to Smith, who goes around the right side, cuts it back up the field, and gets a gain of about 9 yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1, which that's a really good job of they've really done a good job of mixing up those runs and passes, because you get the wide receivers into that run game also, and that really sets up those runs up the middle, and the line's doing a great job of blocking also. You got to give them credit. They don't get all the credit that they deserve, and they do a really good job of really setting those holes up. So a 3rd and 1 for the Mustangs. Pass to Troy Diebold's complete. And that will move the chains again for the Mustangs, as you see them hurry up and get to the line, hopefully get a play in before Trojans can get their defense schematics fixed up.
And Tyler, I don't know if you see, but on the far sideline, on Garner's sideline, number 2, Hines, is being tended to by, it looks like, the medical staff of the Trojans. I didn't really see anything happen while he was on the field, but he's kind of been trotting around. I don't know if he might have a little ankle injury or something.
Well, that's something to keep an eye out for, because like we said earlier, he's a real big part of this offense. So after the fine run, that'll bring up 2nd and 3. And it looked like a screen pass to Stuart Fine, just over his head. That'll fall incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs at their Garner Trojans 17.
Brant definitely would have liked to have that play back. He had 2 open receivers in the end zone, but he was getting a lot of pressure by the Trojan defense.
Pass complete to Burston, and he'll go into the end zone for a touchdown. So that will be another touchdown for the Mustangs, pinning the extra point. That will put them up 14-0 on the Trojans with 43 seconds left in this first quarter. And wow, I don't think anybody really imagined this would be happening this early in the game. As the Trojans, you hear a lot about their defense and how good of a ball team they are, and really their offense. And the Mustangs have done a great job of really capitalizing on their miscues. So Chris Huey on to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So that will put the Mustangs up 14-0 on the Trojans with 43 seconds left in this first quarter.
And I don't think Castellano could have called a better play right there.
Absolutely not. And that was just perfect. Those screens have really shown up for the Mustangs tonight. Really, that's been their go-to play all year long, are those screens, as their receivers do such a good job of blocking. They really work on that at practice. That's just one of those things as a receiver you have to be able to block for this Mustangs offense.
Stampede Club would like to thank our third sponsor, Rutgers Pizza.
Yeah, you know, like you said, having those blockers there, Burnson got in the end zone untouched. That's definitely what you want to see there. Great play call by the Mustang coaching staff.
Absolutely.
Visit them online at play.
So what do you think is going to happen here? We've seen an onside kick. We've seen a deep kick. And what do you think is going to happen here? Because Mustangs have all the momentum right now. So do you give it to them, or do you just try and trick them and hopefully pick it up again?
Well, you know, being up 14-0 right at the end of the quarter, you know, I'm just going to say Rubino's try to send this one as deep as he can. But it is a threat kicking it to Hines. He's going to have Hines backpedaling there.
And he'll get through. And he will carry the ball up to the 50, 45, and he will be tackled at around the 32-yard line of the Mustangs. And wow, that's a big return for the Trojans there, really giving them great field position at the end of this first quarter.
And I apologize, that was Raqueen Britton on the carry. You know, like I said earlier, I guess Hines is probably still out with some type of injury. We're going to have to keep a look on that.
Yeah, Britton's done a good job of filling in his shoes, though. He had that huge kickoff return there. He's had a couple nice carries for a few yards for them, and so we'll see if the Trojans will continue with that run game. And pass from Hudson to Sims will be incomplete, just out of his reach. And looks like Sims had the corner beat over there. I believe that was Terrence White. But actually, that was Yorick Sands, excuse me. But they really like those deep passes. They've gone to those a lot this game when they do pass. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Trojans with 24 seconds left. So 2nd and 10, Hudson under center. Hands the ball to Britton. Fumble!
Ball's out.
And the Mustangs will recover. That is a huge, wow, that is huge for the Mustangs there to recover that football. That was Thomas Hartshorn on the fumble recovery. And as you can hear, these Mustang fans are going loud, extremely loud, and that is just amazing. That is shocking. I didn't expect to see that this early in the game. So the Mustangs will take over, 1st and 10. Gristle back. And pass to Jay Schuler, or Curtis Burston, excuse me. Looks like they're marking it complete, but there is a flag on the play.
We'll wait to see what the call is on the field. It's going to be a holding on the Mustangs.
Penalties have really hurt the Mustangs in this game, but they have been able to come back. But still, you'd like to not have those penalties because that can really change the momentum in the game, and momentum's a huge part in this game because we are crosstown rivals with Garner, and it could come back and bite us in the end.
You know, that is one thing that's separating the Mustangs from the Trojans as of right now. On the drive that Garner had the turnover on downs. They did have that penalty. So.
All right, so we're going to go down to Madison Jaggers. Who has Madison?
Despite these freezing temperatures, both teams are fighting hard. However, Mustangs are winning 14-0. Our defense has been able to stop them, and we also recovered a fumble. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
So with the end of the first quarter, the Mustangs will be at 14-0. We are going to take a quick break here. You are watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off.
And welcome back to the Sports Block. Right now we have the Mustangs taking over at the 5-yard line. They had that holding penalty just before the end of the first quarter, and that backed them up to around their 5-yard line. So they will take over and have a 1st and 23. Gristle in the shotgun. Drops back. Screen out on the left flats, and he'll get a couple blocks, and he'll fight his way forward. Looks like he'll be brought down at around the 10-yard line. That was Rasheem Eaton there on the catch.
Second down.
So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 18.
It's going to be a 2nd and 18 for the Mustangs on the 10-yard line.
Gristle drops back. Pass over to the right. And completed to Troy Diebolt with a diving catch. And that will be a Mustangs 1st down.
A bit of a desperation throw for Gristle. Just got it off before the pressure attacked him, but Diebolt with a great diving catch there on the sidelines.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Mustangs. And Gristle back. Pass to Troy Diebold's complete. Oh! Looks like they're ruling it was a catch, and he fumbled it.
Coach Castellano is a good 15 yards on the field, trying to get an explanation. It's very, very quick to come out of Diebold's hands, but the referees did make the catch signal and a fumble, and it's going to be Garner's ball.
Yeah, that's something that could come back, and like we said, momentum, and that's a big momentum shifter because the Trojans will take over at the Mustangs 36-yard line, and they've done a really good job of driving. So handoff to Hines, and he will break a few tackles and will carry it out to about the Mustangs 27-yard line. And that'll be a 2nd and inches.
Hines is coming back to the huddle very gingerly, so I'm guessing something's up with either his knee or his ankle there.
And it looks like he has his ankle taped up a little bit. Well, not much little there.
In this cold weather, it is very, very easy to get a cramp out there. So, it could be something as simple as a cramp, but You know, with his ability, you don't want to see him go down with an ankle injury or anything.
No, any type of injury to him really puts a stint in the Trojans' offense. So handoff to Hines. He'll go up the middle and he'll break a couple tackles and will be down to about the 10-yard line, where that will be a Trojans first down. So it'll be first and goal for the Trojans at the Mustangs 10-yard line, as this is their first trip inside the red zone in tonight's game. Sweep to Hines. As he'll be wrapped up and dropped at about the 9-yard line.
Tackled by a stampede of Mustangs. Second and goal.
And this Mustangs defense really needs to do a good job of stopping him, because really you just need to focus on Hines, because he's their offense. He really is part of their major key player in this offense. And so really getting an eye on him and keeping him contained is really going to be a good thing for the Mustangs defense.
Warren Messer on the tackle. Third and goal.
So after the handoff to Hines, that will bring up a third and goal from the 6-yard line.
Yeah, and like you said, this is the Trojans' first trip to the red zone thus far throughout the game. So, you know, a different set of play calls we're going to see here.
Pass, and it'll be just over the head of Braden Sims, number 5 for the Trojans. So that'll bring up 4th down.
It looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field.
Timeout, Garner.
So Garner will take a timeout, as that'll be their first timeout of the half. And we also will take a timeout here at the Sports Block. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the Sports Block.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick.
All right, welcome back. Right now, the Trojans are on the Mustangs 6-yard line, shooting for the end zone. This will be a 4th and goal, and it looks like they'll bring out their offense back on the field. Looks like they're trying to punch it in here to hopefully regain some of the points. Hudson will be in the shotgun, send Hines in motion. He'll roll out, pass, and it is a touchdown for the Trojans.
Touchdown, Garner.
Hudson got drilled on that play.
Yeah, he did. He took a shot from his blind side, but regardless, the Trojans will score, and pinning the extra point, they will be trailing 14-7.
Drew on for the extra point.
And it is up, and it is good. So that will bring the Trojans within 7. So that looks like that 4th down gamble really turned out to pay off for the Trojans. And earlier in the game, they tried that 4th down deep in the Mustangs territory, but they were stopped. And so that is a game changer right there for them to be able to convert there and really gain some confidence back in their offense.
Visit one of our 4 Jersey Mike's locations in Gary. Try a fresh slice or fresh grilled sandwich today.
So we will see Mustangs kick return for the first time this game.
Looks like we got Keon Smith deep. And it looks like Rasheem Eaton. I'm not sure. These black jerseys are really tough on the eyes up here. Difficult to see the number outlines with the red outline on the black jerseys. But they do look really good. So, line drive kick will be fielded at the 1-yard line by Keon Smith, and he will get up to the 14-yard line. And that's where the Mustangs will take over on this drive. So this is the Mustangs' worst field position of the game so far, but their offense has really done a good job of really capitalizing and really they do a good job of moving the ball, and that their starting field position really hadn't played that big of a part in the game so far. So Gristle back, passes to Jay Schuler, and it just off his fingertips. Would have been a very, very nice play. Would have been a Sports Center top 10 there.
Yeah, but two defenders draped all over him, diving. He just went through his hands.
That was a beautiful pass, though. Really threw it where only his receiver could really catch the ball, and that was a good job by Gristle there. But 2nd and 10.
And I'm going to predict that Gristle goes deep once more in this drive. He just saw that he could get the ball out.
Hand off to Fine, and he will be stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a yard. And that will bring up 3rd and 11.
And real quick, I've got an update on the Wake Forest-Millbrook game. That game is tied 7-7 with 6 minutes in the 2nd quarter.
So 3rd and 11 for the Mustangs. Gristle back. Oh, and just out of his hands. Looks like Rasheem Eaton there. He was wide open. Just couldn't quite catch up to it. That'll be incomplete, and we'll bring up 4th and 11 for the Mustangs. And that'll bring out their punt team for the first time for tonight.
Well, Tyler, I'm 1 for 1 on my predictions, so unfortunately didn't go the Mustangs' way.
So we have Michael Rubino back to punt for the first time tonight. Looks like the Trojans are going for the block, and it is blocked. And not sure yet, haven't gotten the signal.
Looks like they're going to spot the ball on the 1-yard line.
It's a touchdown.
Touchdown for Garner on the block punt. Sims on the recovery.
So that will tie this game up pending the extra point, and that's a big turn of events there with the Mustangs going up 14-0 and the Trojans scoring 14 unanswered points.
It just shows right there that you're never out of a game. The Mustangs had all the momentum in the first quarter, and now it's Garner's turn. It looks like there's going to be a flag on the field. It looks like it's going to be too many men.
Illegal substitution.
Illegal substitution by the Mustangs.
So regardless, Garner will attempt the extra point. And that will tie the score at 14 all with 7 minutes and 1 second left in the first half. And really this the tides have changed right now. The Mustangs had all the momentum going in at the end of this first quarter, scoring late in the first quarter, and then the Trojans have really done a good job of answering with those 2 touchdowns there.
And there's still a lot of time left in the first half. So, you'll look for Middle Creek to definitely keep the same tempo they've had all game, not change anything. Unfortunately, we did have 2 turnovers as of late, but I really just see them just keeping the same tempo, running the same plays they would run no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there is still plenty of time, like you said, there's still plenty of time left in this ball game, and there's still plenty of time for the Tides to change back to the Mustangs' direction.
And real quick, Wake Forest has gone up 14-7 on Millbrook in the second quarter.
So the Trojans are set to kick off to the Mustangs. Another line drive kick to Keon Smith, who will take it up at around the 5-yard line. And a reverse, but he will be taken down at the 6-yard line.
You know, to me, that play was just too telegraphed. Garner read it right off the hands of Smith, and you know, tackled him way shorter than Smith would have been if he hadn't have pitched it. So, you know, they need to do a better job of keeping that a secret if they want to run that a play.
Yeah, and that's it was really too far of a. As Keon Smith caught that numbers on the Garner sideline and had to run basically back to the Middle Creek numbers to be able to make that play work. A pass complete to Burston along the Garner sideline, and he'll be pushed out at around the 25-yard line. And that's really, like we said earlier, that's really been a key play of those screens. And so far they've worked, so hopefully they can keep that up, and they will continue to be a big part of this game. So 1st and 10, handoff to Fine, and he'll stumble and will be taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2.
And Fine just lost his footing there on the run.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 12. Keon Smith enters in as running back. This will pass to Jay Schuler's complete. He spins off a defender and will be tackled at the 30-yard line. Pick up of about 7 yards.
3rd down.
7 or 8 yards. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 4. So let's see what the Mustangs do here. Do they run the ball or do they pass? That's the question. Looks like they'll pass. Complete to Keon Smith, who has some room to run. And he gets around to the left side and will be pushed out at the 49-yard line of the Mustangs. And that'll be a 1st and 10 as they continue to drive.
The Mustangs are going to rush to the line.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from their 49-yard line. Handoff to Smith around the right sideline. Gets a block. Gets a gain of about 10. Looks like he might be just short of the 1st down.
Webster on the tackle.
And looks like the referees will call for a timeout for measurement here. And it looks like they will bring out the measuring sticks.
Prediction time. I say he's got it.
I think he does too, because a really good run by Smith there. He really got that block by Curtis Burston on the right sideline, and that really gave him those extra couple yards that he needed to get close to it.
Stampede Club will also like to thank Thoroughbred sponsor Relevate Answer for supporting the Middle Creek Mustangs.
And it will, in fact, be a 1st down.
He's got a whole football on that. I don't know why there was a question on the call.
No, there was really no question, but just to be safe, the referees decided to measure, and it, in fact, was sufficient for a Mustang 1st down. So, again, they will keep this drive going on that 1st down carry by Keon Smith.
Just about 5.5 minutes left in the 1st. The Mustangs are going to try to get a big score before the end of the half.
Tried the hard snap count there. Looks like Trojans jumped a little bit, but the referee did not call it, so that'll still be 1st down. Handoff to Fine up the middle. He's got a hole. Gets through and gains about 8 yards.
Stewart on the tackle.
8 or 9 yards.
Second down.
So that'll bring up a 2nd and 1. And looks like Stewart didn't think he was down there. He kept on trucking, and if in fact he was not down, that could have been a big score there. So handoff fine, and he is stuffed in the backfield. Going nowhere. Look, that defensive line for the Trojans really did a good job of breaking through there and really stuffing that run in the backfield.
Third down.
So that will bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Mustangs at their 42-yard line. 32-yard line, excuse me. And Keon Smith will have enough for the first down, but there's a flag on the play. And it will be a holding against the Mustangs. So that'll back them up 10 yards.
Millbrook has tied Wake Forest 14-14. Just about to end the second quarter there.
He's a 3rd and 12 for the Mustangs.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and 12 for the Mustangs after that holding penalty. Gristle back. Throws deep. Got Jay Schuler. And Jay Schuler will take it in for the touchdown. Beautiful pass. Threaded it through 3 defenders.
3 defenders.
Wow.
What a great pass by Brent Gristle.
Beautiful. And the Mustangs have come out and regained the lead with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in the second quarter, and that's really a big turnaround in events there. That's huge play for the Mustangs. As Chris Huey is on to attempt the extra point. And it is up, and it is good. So that will bring the score Mustangs 21, Garner Trojans 14. That was just a beautiful pass by Brant Gristle there. Just threaded it through there, and really, I personally didn't think Jay was open, but he led him perfectly, and Jay really outstretched his arms and really took that in, and his momentum carried him over the goal line.
And like you said on the last pass, he threw that ball right where only Jay could catch it. Nobody else was going to touch that pass.
Yeah, and I think he learned from that one too, because he realized he just overthrew him. He put that one right on the money there, and it really showed up as the Mustangs will regain the lead 21-14. So the Mustangs kicking team will come out as Michael Rubino gets set to kick. And number 3, Britton, will be deep for the Trojans, as he's really replaced. I guess I don't know if he's injured, but Naheem Hines has really not played too much. He was limping a little bit on the field. So as an onside kick. Oh, and it hits off a Mustang helmet, and the Trojans will take over at the 40-yard line.
Just an unfortunate bounce for Middle Creek. Took a big hop, and Mustang tried to jump on it, just like you said, just hit off his helmet and bounce out of bounds.
And it really caught the Trojans by surprise. They didn't. The Mustangs were really the only ones around that. They just didn't get the chance to get their hands on it as it hit off their helmet. But the Trojans really weren't aware of that, weren't thinking that Castellano would pull that again. So Castellano and the referees are having a little discussion out there. Looks like they have it all figured out.
Ball start on the Mustangs. The clock.
So the Trojans will take over at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10. Looks like we got a wildcat here with Naheem Hines in the shotgun. Britton will take the handoff, and he'll be stopped in the backfield by a bunch of Mustangs. And that's a good play right there for the Mustangs. Really thwarting that attempt with the Wildcat there. We haven't seen that this game, so that's something different. And the Mustangs were really able to really pick that up and really do a good job of stopping it there. So after a loss of 1, that'll bring up 2nd and 11. Looks like we got the Wildcat again. Hines in at quarterback. Snap is high. And it looks like the Trojans will gain enough to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
3rd down.
And it looks like the Trojans are done with the Wildcat as of right now. They bring back the quarterback.
And the Mustangs are all over that Wildcat formation. Looks like we're going to get a timeout. Garner.
So that is the Trojans' 2nd timeout of the half, and we also here at the Sports Block will take a timeout. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You are watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off.
And welcome back to the Sports Block. Right now we have a 3rd and 10 for the Trojans at their 44-yard line. So it looks like we have Brighton Hudson back in at quarterback after a couple Wildcat attempts. He'll be in the shotgun, drops back to pass, and he'll be sacked by Thomas Hartshorn. And that will be a loss of, it looks like 18. And the Mustangs will take a timeout here. And we also will take another timeout. Stay tuned. You are watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
And welcome back. After that sack by Thomas Hartshorn, that will be a loss of 7 yards, and that'll bring up a 4th and 17 for the Mustangs, as we have Jay Schuler deep to return for the Mustangs. It looks like the Mustangs will try and block this kick. He just gets it off. Fumbled snap. And it will take a Garner roll, and it will be stopped at the Mustangs 25. Mustangs came really close to blocking that punt there, as it was a low snap, fumbled a little bit, but the kicker was just able to get it off. And the Mustangs really throughout the first half of the season really did a good job of they've blocked many punts, and it just seems later in these games, later in the season, they haven't gotten as many blocked punts. Gristle back. Screen to Rasheem Eaton is complete, as he will have a gain of about 9 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 1. So right now, time management becomes a big part, as you have 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in this first half. So the Mustangs will look to do a good job of keeping an eye on that clock. Pass completed to a Mustang, and he will be dropped down at the 43-yard line.
Fortunately for the Mustangs, they are up 7, so you know they can use the time to their advantage.
Absolutely. So we have Gristle back in the shotgun. Pass to Troy Diebolt's complete, as he will gain about 4 yards on the completion. As the clock continues to run down now to 1 minute and 35 seconds left.
Second and 5.
And if the Mustangs could get in the end zone, that'd be great momentum to take into halftime, up 14.
Absolutely. Evades pressures, got Curtis Burston wide open deep, and it is almost intercepted. Hits off a Trojan helmet, and it will fall incomplete, and that will stop the clock with 1 minute and 16 seconds left in the first half. And he had Curtis Burston wide open, just underthrew him a little bit, threw behind him about 1 yard, and Curtis had to stop, but was not able to get his hands around and catch it. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Mustangs. Gristle back, has Burston wide open over the middle. Oh, and it's off his fingertips and complete. And he had him wide open, just overthrew him just a little bit and was not able to stretch out and complete that pass.
And had he made that reception, that was good for 6.
Yeah, that was your prediction there. Just didn't work out in Mustang's favor as it was dropped incomplete. So Michael Rubino will come on to attempt to punt, as he will shank it, and it will be caught, and he will take it to the house.
Was that ball tipped? Was it blocked, or do you think it was just a bad punt?
It was a bad punt. And looks like it might have been tipped. Wish we had a replay, but tonight we do not have a replay of that. So regardless, the outcome will be a Trojan touchdown.
The Mustangs are going to have about a minute to make something happen as they get the ball back.
Drew on to attempt the extra point for the Trojans. And it is up, and it is good. So after that blocked punt and the touchdown for the Trojans, that will tie this ball game up at 21 with a minute left in the second quarter. That's a big turn of events for the Mustangs, really having that good drive to really take some time off the clock, and then they get the punt blocked, and that really thwarts their drive there.
And you know that's going to be a topic of discussion in the locker room at halftime has got to be the special teams coverage for your punter.
Yeah, special teams has it's usually one of their big. It's usually their big thing, but right now it's hurting them a little bit. You still got the good kick team, but that was just a missed block there by the punt team. But regardless, it is 21-21, and the Mustangs will have a minute of clock to work with. And a line drive kick to Keon Smith is bobbled a little bit, and he'll take it back up the left sideline and will get out at about the 30-yard line. Looks like Keon Smith was hit a little bit late out of bounds, but no call. So they will take over at the 26-yard line, and we will go down to Madison Jaggers with a sideline report. Madison?
Mustang offense has been able to put 21 points on the board thanks to a strong running and passing game combination tonight. Middle Creek defense is pushing hard, trying to hold them back. The score is now tied, 21-21. This is Madison Jaggers. Back to you.
Thank you, Madison. And a screen over to Rasheem Eaton's complete, and he'll go up this field, and he will be tackled at about the 36-yard line. Clock is still ticking as it winds down to 37 seconds left. The Mustangs are keeping those 2 timeouts right now. Gristle steps back, throws, got Keon Smith wide open on the sideline, and it's complete.
He's out of bounds.
He will go out at about the 20-yard line, and that is a huge, huge pass right there. He was wide open, wide open. It looks like the defender tripped a little bit and lost his footing, and Keon was wide open, and if he could have stayed in bounds, he would have taken that one to the house. So there's 18 seconds left in the second quarter, with the Mustangs knocking on the Trojans' door here. Gristle will step back, pass to Curtis Burston. It's complete, and he will work his way up the middle, and he will spin his way and just down at about the 2-yard line.
And you call a timeout right here.
And Castellano is running out on the field. He looked like a sprinter there, but he got the job done, and a timeout will be called with 7.6 seconds left. And we also will take a timeout up here in the Sports Block. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Sports Block.
One block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
And welcome back. Right now we have the Mustangs knocking on the Trojans' goal line here with a 1st and goal at the 2-yard line after a screen from Brant Grizel to Curtis Burston. And looks like we have a new setup here for the Mustangs, something we have never seen before. And
pistol formation for the Mustangs.
Yeah, pistol, which they've never come out with this. I don't believe so.
We're gonna get a flag on the play.
Flag.
Legal substitution
on Garner. So that will move us another yard closer, which will be a yard. So that'll bring us to a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line with 7.6 seconds left. So right now the Mustangs have an opportunity for 2 plays right here. Handoff to Smith, and it is stopped, and Castellano will call a timeout as he will run up
and
call a timeout. And we will take another timeout here at the Sports Block. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You are watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them.
And welcome back. Right now we have 3.5 seconds left in this first half, and the Mustangs are looking to go up right now. Looks like the Mustangs will bring out the field goal unit. We'll bring Michael Rubino in to attempt the field goal. It is up, and it is good. So the Mustangs will go into the locker room leading 24-21, and they really had a missed opportunity there, knocking on the door with 7 seconds left, and just could not push it over the goal line. But regardless, they come out with points, and that's what counts. And don't go anywhere. Right now we have the band coming out on the field to perform their halftime routine.
Band Lieutenant is Stephen Manning. The drum majors are Meredith Brookings.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone. one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill to the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just drugs them all, and he makes another two. kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another two. And kick is
Back to the Sports Block. We had a little technical difficulty there. Hello? We lost it. All right, right now we have the Mustangs will receive this kick. They won the toss, or they lost the toss at the and Garner elected to receive, and so the Mustangs will receive the ball at this second half. And they capped off the last drive of the first half with a looks like a 17-yard field goal by Michael Rubino to put them up 24-21. And a deep kick will be fielded by Keon Smith, who will bring it up to the left side. And he will be dropped at the 12-yard line. He was drilled, and he is down right now. Actually, no, he's up. He's up. We're good. Looks like he got the wind knocked out of him there, but he is running off the field, and that's a good sign. So the Mustangs will take over with their first possession of the second half at their 11-yard line. And going back to the first half, the Mustangs did a really good job of moving the ball on offense despite their bad field position. But that really didn't faze them, as they were able to score 24 points to Garner's 21. So Gristle drops back, pass deep to Jay Schuler, and it is incomplete. Just got behind Jay Schuler, overthrew him quite a bit, and that will bring up a 2nd and 10. And the Mustangs really like to go early in the downs. They like to go deep to really hopefully get that extra yards there that they can really set up the tempo and will carry them throughout the rest of the drive. Pass complete to Troy Diebolt, and he will be dropped at the 20-yard line. And that will bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs at their 19-yard line. So we'll see what the Mustangs decide to do here. They've really chosen to pass the ball on 3rd down, really with the screen passes. It looks like that's what they're going to do now. And as he shakes off a tackle, and he will get enough for the first down And that will be enough for a Mustang first down, as tackler tried to go high, but he ducked under it and was able to get that extra yard that he needed to get that first down.
That was a great extra effort by Fine. Had he been tackled, that would have resulted in a punt for the Mustangs. It's a great effort for him to get the first down.
So 1st and 10, handoff to Fine up the middle. Had a little bit of a hole there, gain of about 4 yards. And that will bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Mustangs. Looks like a Mustang is slow to get up, as the training staff will be called out. And we will take a quick break here at the Sports Block. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
And that injured player down on the field was number 57, Terry Patterson. He's played a big part in this game. Really had a few good tackles there when the Trojans had the Wildcat out, and he really stopped their drive there. But he looks fine, is walking around, so he'll be back in action very soon. Handoff to Keon Smith, and there's a fumble, and the Trojans will recover, and they will take over at their 20-yard line. And that is a big turn of events there. Wow. That really changes the momentum and puts it towards Garner's way. They're trailing right now 24-21 with that 17-yard field goal by Rubino with 3 seconds left in the first half. So we have Hines in the backfield. Handoff to Hines. Looks like a gain of about 2 yards, as he took a pretty heavy licking there. And that will be a 2nd and 8. So this is the Trojans' second drive in the red zone. Another So a 3rd and 10 for the Trojans at the Mustangs' 21-yard line. We'll see what they decide to do here. Fake toss, little screen pass. And he's still up. They will mark him down now, and he will be well short of the first down. So that'll bring up a 4th and 6 for the Trojans.
I think they are going to keep the offense on the field. Watching the field goal kicker in warm-ups, I don't really think he has a leg to make this field goal. It'll be about a 30-yarder.
So the Trojans will hurry up to the line. Pass, and it will be incomplete. Defended by 2 Mustangs. It'll be tipped by King Kiaku, and the Mustangs will take over 1st and 10 at their 17-yard line. And that's huge for the Mustangs, because that's their second 4th down stop, and that one was huge because they were the Trojans were driving deep in their territory, and that really saved them a touchdown there. So 1st and 10. Bursting in motion. Pass to Jay Schuler. And he will get about 7 or 8 yards there on the reception. And there we go again. There's that screen play that that the Mustangs like. And it's been very, very effective for them so far.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely. So we have a 2nd and 1. Gristle back. Pass intended for Burston is incomplete, almost intercepted by a Trojan. Just led Burston a little bit too far, but the result is a 3rd down and 1. So we'll see what the Mustangs elect to do here. Pass complete to Jay Schuler at the 30-yard line, and he will be pushed out of bounds, and that will be a sufficient gain for a 1st down. And the Mustangs have done a good job of converting on 3rd down. That's really what's kept them in the ballgame, is converting on those 3rd downs. So 1st down for the Mustangs at the 30-yard line. Hard snap count there, trying to get the Trojans to jump off sides. Did not work. So the Mustangs will get another play in. Pass is incomplete, intended for Burston. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Looks like the Mustangs have 5 receivers out wide. Empty backfield. Gristle back. Screen to Burston is incomplete. And that will be a 3rd down. There you see the Trojans really did a good job of reading that screen there. Looks like they picked up on it a little bit and have started to defend it a little better than they did early in the game. So again, the Mustangs will have 5 receivers out wide, empty backfield. And that will bring up 4th down. So Michael Rubino will come on for the Mustangs to attempt the punt. And hopefully this punt is better than last time, as it was blocked and returned for a touchdown. As he gets this one off, and it's a very nice punt. We get a little bit of a Mustang bounce, and looks like it'll be stopped at the 30-yard line. And the Trojans will take over on their first drive of this 2nd half at the 30-yard line.
And the Mustangs put a little extra coverage for Rubino. Looks like we've got an injured Middle Creek player on the field.
Looks like Terry Patterson again. And we will take a quick timeout. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute thrill to the back of the end zone.
Welcome back, and that injured player indeed was number 57, Terry Patterson. He did run off the field. Looked like he had a little bit of a cramp there, but he is walking it off right now and looks to be back on the field in action again. So the Trojans will have a 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Looks like the Wildcat formation again. Hines in at quarterback. High snap. He'll keep it himself and will run it up the middle, and he will be stopped for a gain of about a yard. And that was, he was tackled by Josh Guest there, defensive lineman. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 8 for the Trojans, as Hines is still in at quarterback. And he will keep it, and he'll fall, and that will be a loss of 3 yards there. So that'll make it a 3rd and 11 for the Trojans. And the Mustangs have done a good job of really keeping that that Wildcat in check, because the Trojans really haven't gotten anything going, and that's something that they like to use and keep in their repertoire. There is that Wildcat there to keep the defense off balance, but it hadn't worked. So Hudson back, drops back deep, looks like he has a player open, and it is incomplete. No flag. Passing intended for number 5, Braden Sims. And that was defended by number 5, Yurick Sands, as the Trojans will bring on their punt team. And the Mustangs will send back Jay Schuler, number 8, to return.
The thing about the Trojans Wildcat is just too predictable right now. The Mustangs, you just read the play right from the get-go.
That punt shanked a little bit, and it will get a Mustang bounce, and it will stop dead at the 46-yard line. So good field position for the Mustangs, starting their 2nd drive of this 2nd half. And last drive, they started deep in their own territory, but they were able to come out a little bit. But unfortunately, the drive ended on a punt for the Mustangs. But right now, they've got really good field position, and they've got some momentum going their way. And it looks like their offense looks well rested and ready to go here. So Gristle drops back on 1st down. Pass to Rasheem Eaton is thrown just behind him, but incomplete. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs at their 46-yard line. So 4 receivers wide for the Mustangs. Looks like a screen pass, low and dropped. And that will be another incomplete pass. Pass intended for McDonald. And that will bring up a 3rd and long for the Mustangs. And this right now is not very typical of the Mustangs here. They've had 2 drop passes back-to-back, and that's something you don't see a lot. So 3rd and 10. Another hard snap count, but to no avail, as it will remain 3rd and 10. Got Curtis Burston wide open over the middle. Oh, and it's incomplete. Pass defended by number 4 on the Trojans. Very good job of getting a hand in there and ripping it out as he fell down. But if Curtis could have held on, he'd have taken that one to the house. But that will bring on the Mustangs punt team, as the Trojans will send back Naheem Hines to return. As the play is blown dead.
Timeout, Garner.
And Garner will call a timeout, and we also will take a timeout. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block.
He one block,
Oh!
and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Block.
He won.
And welcome back. After the Trojans timeout, that will bring up a 4th and 10 for the Mustangs, as they will send Michael Rubino back to punt to number 2, Naheem Hines, who has been quite silent throughout this game so far. Mustangs defense has done a good job of really holding him. Oh, and a fake, and it will be recovered by the Mustangs, and that was that fake did not go as planned. And so the Trojans will take over at the Mustangs 36-yard line. Not sure quite what happened there, Kev. Did you see anything?
You know, it kind of caught me a little off guard. I didn't expect the fake. Probably just a bad snap.
So handoff to Naheem Hines around the left side. He will have a gain of about 2 yards. They were again in the Wildcat right there.
I've got a scoring update for the Millbrook-Wake Forest game. That game is still tied 14 apiece in the 4th quarter.
So it looks like the Trojans will go back to the regular formation. Quarterback Hudson will be in the shotgun. Sends Hines in motion. And it is completed off a tip from Warren Messer, and he will take it down to about the 8-yard line. Right off Warren Messer's hands and right into the hands of a Trojan receiver. A little bit of luck there. But regardless, the Trojans will be inside the Mustangs red zone, and they will have a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Sweep to Hines, and he is dropped for no gain on the play. That was Jacob Pearl on for the Mustangs on the tackle. So the Mustangs defense has done a good job so far of really keeping this Trojans offense in check, and hopefully they've done a good job in the red zone so far. Hopefully they can keep it up here. Here's the snap. Pass. Looks like a pass play. Hudson running around, just throws it out of the end zone.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Trojans.
And that right there goes to show how well that Mustangs defense is doing today. He really, Brighton had a lot of time back there, but there's really just good coverage downfield, and that really didn't allow any of their receivers to get open and force them to throw it out of bounds, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 9. So there is 3 minutes and 58 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, with the Trojans knocking on the door of the Mustangs. Hudson with an empty backfield. Hines in motion. Pass. And he will throw it, and it will be incomplete over the head of Hines, who was brought in motion. Looked like Isaiah Herring there on the coverage. And the Trojans will bring on the field goal unit to attempt this 23-yard field goal. So right now you need to look out for the fake, because Garner was working on a little fake action early in the game, but they will put it down, and it is up, and it is no good. Wide right. So there's that Mustangs red zone defense there right at work, and they come away with another victory there. That's just a great job. They really put the pressure on the Trojans, and the Trojans just haven't capitalized on those opportunities so far in this game. As you can see, that Mustangs sideline getting really hype out there, congratulating the defense for helping them out there from a little bit of a predicament. So the Mustangs will take over at their 20-yard line. Gristle drops back, throws, got Curtis Burston open. and he will be pushed out at around the 38, 39 yard line. And that was a good job. Good play by the Mustangs there. Looks like he had Troy Diebolt coming back on the block there. Really put a block. Gave Curtis a few extra yards there to work with. So 1st and 10. Eaton in motion. Hand off to Fine up the middle, and he will go. He'll get tripped up at around the 46 yard line of the Trojans. And that's really a good job by Fine there. Really doing a good job of finding that hole and really working through it. So the Mustangs will have the ball at the 46 yard line of the Trojans. Gristle back. And he will just throw this ball into the stands. Good job of escaping the sack there. That was a good job of just realizing the pocket was closing in on him, get out of it, and just throw it away. Because you don't want to sack there. You just do not want to sack there. So that will bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. Looks like Curtis Burson was limping off the sidelines a little bit. Hand off to Smith around the right, as he will get a gain of about 2 yards. And that will bring up a 3rd and 8. So the Mustangs have done a good job on 3rd down so far. They've had only, I believe, 2 or 3 times where they have not converted, and that's a really good 3rd down efficiency rating there. And he just throws it dangerous, but throws it away, and that will bring up a 4th and 8 for the Mustangs. So Castellano is calling on the punt unit, it looks like, and hopefully we won't have another fake punt that does not work, because that would give the Trojans good field position. So Britton deep for the Trojans. Rubino with the punt. It's a beautiful punt, and
it's going to be down at the 1.
Down. Wow, that's a beautiful coverage there by Rasheem Eaton, getting the ball down at the 1 yard line. Wow.
Great job by the special teams unit for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that was a beautiful punt by Michael Rubino there. Really trusting his defense or his special teams to get down there and stop that just before it goes in, and that was perfect. That was a beautiful punt. So the Mustangs defense comes out hoping to look for a safety here. Get this defensive stand, and you can hear the Creek Crazies getting loud, hoping for the same for a safety. Looks like Hines is in the backfield. Hudson under center. And a snap to Hines, and he will have a gain of about 8 or 9 yards. And that will bring up a 2nd and 3. So the Trojans' offensive line doing a good job of giving Hines a little hole there to work with and give them a little bit of breathing room. So 2nd and 3. Hand off to Hines, as he will go around the outside. He'll have a little bit of room to work with, and he will bring it out to the 20-yard line. And that will move the chains for the Trojans.
First down going.
Yeah, like we've been talking about the whole game, the Mustangs defense have really stepped up and defended Hines very well. You know, I can't really recall any big runs that he's had. He hasn't really broken out for many game stoppers, but you know they've really had good contact on him. And
the handoff to Hines is stopped, a gain of no yards, and that will bring up a 2nd and 10. Tackled by Thomas Hartshorn, and Thomas Hartshorn throughout the year has really been a big defensive playmaker for the Mustangs. He's done a lot of gotten a lot of those tackles in the backfield and has really done a good job of really thwarting those defense or the offenses from the other teams. So 2nd and 10. Hudson under center again. Hand off to the fullback as he will gain of about 5 yards as he is upended and does a little somersault in the air.
Upended by Warren Messer.
Tackled by Warren Messer, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Trojans. 27-yard line. So the clock winds down to 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and Trojans hoping to convert for another 1st down before the 4th quarter. Hudson under center again. Hand off to Hines, and he is stopped by a herd of Mustangs. And that is a huge 3rd down stop for the Mustangs there. And we have a sideline report from Madison Jagger, so we'll go down to her. Madison?
Peters are on the sidelines trying to keep the players warm. Coach told defense to line up and play the game. Special teams has allowed 2 block kicks to turn into Garner touchdown. Score is now 24-21, Middle Creek on top. This is Madison Jaggers, back to you.
Thank you, Madison. And like you said, the score right now going into the 4th quarter is your Mustangs 24, Garner Trojans 21, and that's something that it's a closer game than it started out to be. The Mustangs jumped out early with 14 unanswered points, and then the Trojans again scored 14 unanswered points to tie it up, and the Mustangs were able to score another touchdown, and so were the Trojans. And just before half, the Mustangs hit a 17-yard field goal to go up 24-21, and that is where we are right now. And right now the Trojans have a 4th and 6. Not sure what to look out for right now. The Trojans have gone for it on 4th down 3 times today, and they have been stopped on 2 of those times. So it looks like they will elect a punt. Want to be wary of a fake here because the Trojans have not shown a fake, but it is well within their parameters to do so, as there is a false start the Trojans, so that'll back them up another 5 yards, and that will cancel out most opportunity for a fake. So 4th and 10. Snap is fumbled, and it's blocked. And it will take a Mustang bounce, and it will be down at the 25-yard line. So that will be a 2-yard punt. Don't hear that very often, but the Mustangs will take over with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
The Mustangs have done a great job tonight capitalizing off unfortunate events happening to the Trojans. So, you definitely look for them to come out with some great energy on this series.
Griswold in the shotgun, drops back, looks to pass, has a wide open receiver and incomplete. Pass intended for Rasheem Eaton, and safety came over, and he looked wide open, but the safety came over and really jumped in the way and did a good job of defending that pass as Eaton was wide open. So after the incomplete pass, that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. Pass to Jay Schuler is complete. He will be pushed out at the 21-yard line. That'll be a gain of 5. So a 3rd and 5 for the Mustangs, as they are hoping to convert here to give them a fresh set of downs. Jay Schuler in motion, and offsides is the call, and that will, depending on the spot, give the Mustangs a fresh set of downs. And that was a good job by the Mustangs. The Trojans have not jumped early. They have not jumped throughout this game, but that one they kept with it, and that really stuck with them, and it looked to pay off there. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 1 after the offsides penalty. Hand off to Jay Schuler around the right side, and he gets around and a first down, but there's a fumble, and the Trojans will recover and will take over. So the Mustangs were knocking on the door, and then they fumble it, and so the Trojans will take over. And that just seems to be the name of the game right now. Either team starts knocking on the door, putting together a good drive, and then they have a turnover, a block punt. One of these times the tides are gonna change, and one of the teams is gonna punch it in. So the Trojans will take over at the 15-yard line. Pass. And it is overthrown. Pass intended to number 5, Braden Sims. Defended by Isaiah Herring there. And that will bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Trojans. And the Trojans really have they've done a good job of balancing out their running and passing, which last week against Jack Britt, they really stuck with the run game, as you can see by Naheem's 454 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. But they've really done a good job of, like I said, just keeping a balanced, and that really has helped them out so far in this game. As Hines will get a gain of about 2 yards. And that will bring up a 3rd and 8. Tackled by Warren Messer. So Kevin, right now, what do you do as if you're Garner's coach? You go for the pass, or do you stick with the run game here?
You know, it's hard to say, but you know, you've got your star running back in. You've got to take a chance with him, because the passing game just hasn't been working tonight. So
Hudson in the shotgun, looks deep to throw, has a receiver open through his hands, incomplete, and that will bring up a 4th down for the Trojans. So again, the Mustangs defense prevails there, and they do a good job of stopping the Trojans, who had the momentum after the fumble there. But the Mustangs do a good job of really stopping that. As he gets off a beautiful punt, and it will go behind Jay Schuler, and it will roll to the 37-yard line of the Mustangs. And that is where they will take over 1st and 10 with 9 minutes and 53 seconds left in this first quarter. And so right now, with the Mustangs having the lead, they can look to do some time management here, really run the ball, hopefully knock some time off the clock, and really give the Trojans minimal time to work with as they start this drive. Pass complete to Curtis Person, out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and that was a beautiful pass there. Really threaded that one on a needle, and that was really good job knowing where the sideline was and keeping his feet in bounds.
And it looks like Burnson caught the back half of the football.
Yeah, he did. It did in fact look like he caught the back half, and that was just a beautiful pass by Gristle there. And he looks to throw to Curtis again, and he's got him open, out of bounds, and he threw that one just where only Curtis could get it, or otherwise no one could get it there, as we saw the result of that play. So we have Gristle back, 2nd down and 10 for the Mustangs at their Trojans' 29-yard line. Gristle back, throws, pass complete to Jay Schuler, out at the 20-yard line. Excuse me, that was Troy Diebold on the catch. And that will be a 3rd and inches. Looks close enough for a measurement, but I don't think they are going to bring it out. So that will bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Mustangs. Pass to Jay Schuler is complete, and that will be enough for a first down. A little quick screen pass there. And that really worked for the Mustangs. That we keep saying that, but that's just something that's so evident and so popular for these types of offenses, the spread offenses, and it really works for them. So 1st and 10, fake to Keon Smith, pass to Jay Schuler is complete. Down to around the 15-yard line, and that will bring up a 2nd and 7. So the Mustangs haven't done a lot with the running game so far in the second half. They've really stuck with the passing, and there we go. There's a run, and we know why, as it is stopped in the backfield for a loss of about 8. And that will bring up a 3rd and 14 for the Mustangs.
I'm calling Bernston in the back corner of the end zone.
I agree with you. Either Bernston or Schuler. Looks like he's got Jay Schuler deep and over his head, out of bounds. And that will bring up 4th down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Mustangs definitely have to go for it right here. It's just too long for a field goal and too short for a punt.
But they are bringing out the field goal unit. And this will be a 37-yard attempt, 38, excuse me, for Michael Rubino. Michael Rubino set to kick. And it is shanked, and it is no good. So the Trojans will take over at their own 20-yard line. And with 7:44 left in this fourth quarter, the Trojans are really looking to put together a drive here to knock some time off the clock and hopefully put some points on the board. So we'll see how this Mustangs defense responds to that missed field goal. As we have the Wildcat again. Hines in motion. Handoff to Hines. And he has a few yards. Gain of about 8 yards on that carry. So that'll bring up 2nd and 2 for the Trojans. And as this game has gone on, they've really tried to implement him more and more into their offense, because he was basically absent throughout the first half, and so he had a little bit of an injury. He was limping a little bit on the sideline, but they've looked to insert him more, as they will fake the handoff to Hines, and it will be taken up the middle, but he will have enough for a first down, and that will give the Trojans a fresh set of downs to work with. So again, the Trojans will go with the Wildcat, and they've liked to use that so far in this game.
We're probably going to see a lot more of it right now because
looks like a pass, and it is a pass to Hines, and it is complete. Gain of about 9 yards there.
That was the first time we've seen the pass come out of the Wildcat formation.
Actually, he is the backup quarterback, so Royster, number 19, is the backup quarterback, so looks like they might be having some problems with Hudson, who's on the sideline right now. So 2nd and 1. Handoff to Hines up the middle. And he will have a gain of about 5 or 6, and that will be sufficient again for a first down. And the Trojans are really doing a good job of just driving down the field, taking time off the clock, because they've got the time on their side right now. And they've just done a good job of really controlling the game clock and really running the ball and taking their time. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans on their side of the 50 at the 47-yard line. Fake to Hines, and Royster will be sacked in the backfield for a loss of 6 yards. Tackled by Yorick Sands there, and that will bring up a 2nd and 16 for the Trojans. And it looks like some of the fans are complaining that he got a good spot there, and I believe so. Looks like he got a pretty good spot. But regardless, they will have a 2nd and 16 to work with. Pass to Hines, and he will have a gain of 3 yards, and that will be a 3rd and 13. Royster comes out of the game, and Hudson will re-enter, and that will bring up a 3rd and 13, which this is a potential huge 3rd down for the Mustangs, as they could really do some damage here with the clock if they can hold the Trojans here. So 3rd and 13, Hudson back, looks deep, and looks like they threw a flag there. Looks like it might be a holding. It's intercepted on the right sideline, and he'll go down the sideline, and he will get inside the 30-yard line of the Trojans. But like I said, there is a flag on the play, holding, and the Mustangs will decline the penalty, and they will take over on the 30-yard line of the Trojans. Huge 3rd down stop, and like we said, that was huge. That's all you can say about that one. Really put out the middleman there with a punt, and really get that drive going. They get the energy back in their offense, hoping to score another one here.
And that play all started with the pressure on Hudson, forcing him to roll out of the pocket and potentially make that bad pass for the interception.
And it looks like he was just trying to throw it away, but he was not able to. So handoff to Hines. Handoff to Fine, and a little mix-up there, but it'll be a loss of about a yard, so that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. So the clock is still going, and it will get down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds very shortly, and clock is becoming an issue for the Trojans. Handoff to Fine. Up the middle, he's got some room to work with. Gets a gain of about 9 or 10 yards. Gain of about 7. And that will bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Mustangs. So hopefully the Mustangs can have a better outcome than they did last time they were in this position. Last drive, they were in this position, and they missed a field goal. So hopefully they can convert here and get them a fresh set of downs to work with. So 3rd and 4. Gristle in the shotgun. Jay Schuler in motion. Try the hard snap count. Gonna have to call a timeout here. So the Mustangs will take a timeout, and so will we. Don't go anywhere. Scores 24-21. Stay tuned. You are watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
And welcome back. Right now the Mustangs have a 3rd and 4 here, knocking on the Trojans here, and they need this first down to convert here and give them really good field position and good time. And pass is thrown out of bounds, intended for Jay Schuler, and that will bring up a 4th down. And just last drive, the Mustangs were in the same situation, and they attempted a field goal, but it was well short. And so it looks like they will go for the 4th down conversion with 2 minutes and 38 seconds left here. And this is a crucial play for the Mustangs offense here. Pass completed to Burson. He's got room. He keeps going, and he's got a 1st down. 1st down Mustangs. And that is huge, huge for the Mustangs, as they will have a fresh set of downs with 2 minutes and 27 seconds left. And wow, all you can say, that is huge. So right now the Mustangs just need to run the time down on the clock here. However, the Trojans do have 3 timeouts, but a score here would really put this game out of reach. So the clock is winding down to around 2 minutes, and Trojans are running out of time here. So 24-21, 1st down for the Mustangs. Handoff to Schuler, who will go around the right side, cut it upfield, gain of about a yard. And that will bring up a 2nd and 9 for the Mustangs, as the clock continues to run to now under a minute and 40. So we now have a minute and 30 seconds left. 2nd and 9 for the Mustangs on their 19-yard line, or on the Trojans' 19-yard line. 3 seconds on the play clock. 2, 1. Get the snap off, as Smith will have a first effort, but will go for a second effort and will be taken down at around the yard line. And Garner will take a timeout, and so will we. Do not go anywhere. We have an exciting last few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You are watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
And welcome back. Right now we have a 3rd and 6 for the Mustangs at their 15-yard line. And the Mustangs need to convert here. And a conversion here would really put this game out of hand. So Smith in motion. Oh, and it's fumbled! But Smith will.
I think he fell on it.
It was a forward lateral, and so it will be an incomplete pass, as the clock will stop, and that will bring up a 4th down. And we have an injured player here on the field for the Mustangs. Looks like Keon Smith. So we will take another timeout. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You are watching the Sports Block.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
You're watching the Sports Blog.
He one block, and he just shrugs them off, and he makes another 2. And kick is up. That's an absolute drill into the back of the end zone.
And welcome back as injured number 1 Keon Smith is being helped off the field. And looks like the Mustangs offense will return back on the field to go for this 4th and 6. And this is huge for the Mustangs here. They need to convert here to keep this drive going. So tried the hard snap count, but to no avail. They'll get another play in, and that will bring up still a 4th and 6. Pass complete to Jay Schuler, and it's a first down for the Mustangs. First down. And that will basically secure the victory for the Mustangs as long as they hold on to the ball. As long as they hold on to the ball here. And right now, we need to keep a hold of the ball. As they will bring out the victory formation, and that, yes! Yes! That's all I could say. That's all I could say right now, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Yes! As the Mustangs have one more play before they will advance to the 4th round of the playoffs, and Garner will take a timeout. But does not matter. The Mustangs will keep possession and will need the ball. And Garner has called a timeout, and so will we. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere for this exciting moment. Oh, never mind. We're going to go down to Madison Jaggers on the sideline. Madison?
Will take home the 3rd round playoff win with the score of 24-21 against Garner. This is Madison Jaggers. Back to you.
Thank you, Madison. And wow. Kevin, you picked a great game to come back tonight.
Absolutely, man.
And right now, with this knee, the Mustangs will improve their record over Garner Trojans and make it 10-2. But that second win is huge as they will advance to the 4th round of the playoffs. And that is ball game, ladies and gentlemen. The Mustangs will win 24-21 over crosstown rival Garner High School. And Garner now falls to the Mustangs in the 3rd round, and the Mustangs will continue on. And the Trojans coming into this game had a 10-1 record against the Mustangs in football games, and right now they are 10-2. But this is probably the most tremendous victory the Mustangs have had all season.
Absolutely. And with this win, the Mustangs will go on to face Wake Forest, who got the overtime victory against Millbrook.
So, correction there. Wake Forest and Millbrook are in overtime right now. So, hopefully, before the end of this broadcast, we will have an idea who the Mustangs will be playing in the 4th round here next week here at Mustang Stadium. And that is huge for the Mustangs to be able to go to the 4th round. I believe it's the farthest they've ever gone in school history. And you can see everybody out there, all the Creek Crazies, all the fans, just so happy for this Mustangs football team to get this amazing victory over the Trojans.
Yeah, it was absolutely just a great victory by the Mustangs. They fought from start to finish. I don't think they ever let up, despite all the turnovers and penalties and everything. They just fought. To me, they were the better football team tonight because Garner's offense just couldn't get anything started with the run or the passing game. Just really nothing that they could get.
Absolutely, and prior to the game we were talking about stats, and Naheem Hines, man, did he have a good ball game against Jack Britt, and he had over 450 yards. But tonight, we don't have the numbers, but I would be surprised if he reached 100 yards.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure we held him to under 100 tonight.
And that, for a running back of his caliber, is huge for a defense, and it really goes to show how how effective he is in their offense, and to be able to stop him like that really gave the Mustangs an even better shot of winning this ball game. So that will wrap it up for us here at the Sports Block. Your Mustangs take down the Garner Trojans 24-21. Stay tuned next week as we will take on the winner of Millbrook and Wake Forest here at 7:30 at Mustang Stadium. Thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. For Kevin Brunson, I'm Tyler Scholler. Thank you.